Okay, everybody. Today I need you to take everything off your desk. Take out a pen or a pencil. Take out a pen or a pencil. I'm going to give you a packet for the Pearl, and this packet will be your very best friend as we go through the novel. We'll go through it one day at a time, and you'll fill out some literary analysis, and you'll get to use all of that information for your exam over the Pearl at the end, okay? So you're responsible for the packet. I'm giving it to you today. You'll turn it in to me when we finish reading the Pearl. Are you ready? Okay, let me pass those out. Okay, now that you have your packet, put your name on the front and turn to page 1. Now, each chapter, I'm going to give you an excerpt from the chapter. Look at the top part there. It's not very long, is it? That excerpt is not very long at all. And it has a place where it says page 1 and a place that says page 2. Do you see that? Page 1, that's when those first 2 lines are from page 1. And all the rest of that column and the next are actually from page 2. So very little is from page 1, but this actually comes from chapter 1. Before we read that text, I'd like to go over some of the information that you're going to need to know before you analyze that text. So let me pull it up on the screen. Raise your hand if you know these 4 literary terms: point of view, imagery, details, and mood. Okay, I'm going to have you take some notes over these right now and underline a few things just so that we can review. Okay, so we've got point of view, and it's third person, and imagery is the 5 senses. Who can tell me the 5 senses? Go ahead, Sawyer.
Sight, hearing,
good,
taste, and touch, and smell.
Good job, got them all. So like if I was using imagery, it's not just what you see. I'm going to try to use it right now about Thanksgiving because I love Thanksgiving. I'm ready to eat Thanksgiving up, okay? I could hear my mom chopping the apples softly on the wooden cutting board. Soon I could sense the cinnamon wafting in the air as she added sugar and butter to the apples. I heard the oven door open and the heat wafted out into the room and warmed me as my stomach was ready to eat the apple pie. Okay, so I used 3 of the 5 senses there. Okay, so that's imagery. What about details? That's the facts. Okay, the facts. This is what the writer chooses to tell us. Let me ask you this. What did the writer Steinbeck choose to tell you about the doctor? What do you remember about him, Rick?
He doesn't go to Portugal.
Okay, so the fact that he's very stingy. What else do we know about him?
He doesn't like the natives.
He doesn't like the indigenous people, the Indians. The Indians. Okay, what else did you know? How did he describe him?
Describe who?
The doctor.
Oh, like
Wasn't he kind of rotund and big and obnoxiously? He was really overweight because I think all he does all day is eat sweet cakes and drink sugary coffee and stuff. So he described him in a very unflattering light. Would y'all agree? So the details he chose to describe the doctor were all very negative, and it kind of gives you a perspective of what you think Steinbeck thinks about the colonialists, right? Does he like the colonialists or the Indian people better?
colonialists.
And so that's revealed in the details. Okay, the mood. This is the way you feel as you're reading something, okay? So this is the way you feel. All right. Tabitha, would you read the prompt? Go ahead.
Where does it say that?
It says right under mood, prompt.
Oh. What predominant mood is created, and what do the images and details reveal about Steinbeck's perception of life?
Okay, so we're looking for the mood. Okay, I want you to read the actual textual passage. And then at the end of that, I want you to tell me what mood words and you can even start writing those down if you want to, like right under the textual passage there. Maybe write down ideas of moods that you feel as you're reading that. Go ahead and do that. Read it to yourself, and we'll write down. Tell me some words that you thought of or you felt. What was the mood? Yes, Henry.
Serene.
Serene. Ooh, that's a nice word. Serene. You can use a synonym or a different mood word. What else? Calm. Good. Okay, those are good words. One more hump, sorry. Okay, any others? Yes, sir.
Tranquil.
Tranquil. Those are all good synonyms. Any others? Did you feel that he was content? Okay. Yes, sir.
Peaceful.
Peaceful, good. How about, okay, yes, go ahead, Tabitha.
Mellow.
Mellow, good. You know, sometimes at home we don't talk as much as we do out in public, but at home we all are kind of quiet, especially in the mornings. Does that mean we're mad at each other? No, it just means we're kind of in a mellow mood, we're content, we're satisfied. I'm going to write satisfied. Okay, so all of those words are good to describe the mood at this time in the story. Now, what I want you to do is to read the passage below, and it says the predominant mood at the beginning of the story is. Now, you get to pick one of those moods. Okay, so the predominant mood is, what did someone put? Satisfied. Okay, what's another one you put? Serene. Okay, you now have to defend that. So where will you find evidence to defend that? Go ahead, Leo.
The little splash of morning waves on the beach.
You already gave me your text. That's fabulous. You're going to find it in the text, okay? So you are actually going to use textual information. So you're going to pull some text, and then I'm asking for 2 pieces of text, and you're going to write and then you're going to pull some more text from a different part here. Now, your text, can it be one word? Yes. Can your text be a phrase? Yes. Can it be a whole sentence? Can it be more than one sentence? Yes, it can be any length at all. You need to read the passage again and write the text. Then after the 2 pieces of textual information, why am I writing this? Why am I writing Steinbeck? That's the author, and then you'll put the page number, and it'll either be 1, or it'll be 1 through 2, or it'll be 2. You get to choose how yours is, okay? Then it'll have a period at the end there. It's going to be one of those 3, depending on if you use something from page 1. No, the 2 pieces are from page 1, or if they're from 1 and 2, or if they're from 2. All right, now that you've gotten your 2 pieces of text, you have to explain that text and why it makes the mood feel what it is. So underneath that it says, these words make the reader feel. Do you see that it didn't say, these words make me feel? Why are we not using first person? Because this is analysis. It's a formal piece of writing. So you're not going to say, I felt. What you're going to do is you're going to write 2 CMs here. 2 CMs. Now, those CMs can be in 1 sentence, or they can be in 2 or 3, however many sentences you need. Okay, but you're going to write the analysis of why those images make a reader feel peaceful, or serene, or content, or satisfied. I'm not sure which of the mood words you chose. Now, when you're done with that, you're done with that part on page 1. You're already done with a lot of the packet. Now, we're going to switch to page 2 right now. Go ahead and turn to page 2. You will come back and finish this because I'm worried with the people having to leave for band that we won't get to it, okay? So let's look at page 2. Page 2 is going to have to do with symbolism, okay? Now, let me erase the board. Symbolism is big in life, but it's also big in literature. Okay, in literature, it's more subtle. And we're going to look at 2 passages today. I'm going to help you with the first one, and then you're going to do the one at the bottom of the page by yourself. Okay, but I'm going to lead you along right now, and I promise I'm going to do a good job. Symbolism is the use of any object, person, place, or action that not only has a meaning in itself, but stands for something larger than itself, such as a quality, attitude, belief, or value. Okay, we're going to look at that text in just a moment, but before we do that, I need to show you a clip and let you know what an antlion is. Have any of you ever heard of an antlion? You have, Rick? Where have you seen them or heard of them?
Well, I heard of them at this place. It's called like, I don't know. It's by the botanical, or it's in the botanical gardens.
Yes.
There's some lions. No, not this kind of lion.
Hold this for just a second.
Oh,
This kind of lion.
well,
You're looking at the predatory larva of the antlion. This creature can remain in the larval stage for up to 3 years. Like the big cats, this specimen is in Africa. But antlion species can be found in warm regions around the world. These lions have ferocious jaws. Only these jaws are hollow, allowing it to suck the life juices out of, what else? Ants, or whatever it can trap. The sand has to be just right. Fine-grained, soft. For this crafty critter to rig a trap that will make catching a meal a slam dunk. The antlion makes like a steam shovel, lobbing the sand and pebbles out of the pit.
He's
He
strong.
burrows into the bottom, ready to use those awesome choppers on whatever bumbles into this ambush. Sure enough, an ant slips into his ditch. It tries to escape, but the antlion larva doesn't give up that easily. He pummels the ant with sand just as it's about to get out of there. No matter what the ant does, it's doomed to slide back into the jaws of death. The larval antlion may be a heck of a lot smaller than its namesake, but it is every bit a voracious predator.
Antlions. I mean, I'm horrible because I've sat and watched. One time I walked into the barn and I saw a scorpion get caught in kind of right down in the bottom of a corner of the room, get caught in a spider web. And I didn't help him. I'm just like standing there like, ooh, what's he gonna do? And his little tail was stuck and he was struggling, or it was struggling. Don't know if it was a he or a she. And suddenly the spider appeared. Quick down and it tried to get at the scorpion, and he was stinging his tail, and they were fighting. And I'm just like sitting and watching, you know. I don't care who wins or dies. I'm just kind of watching. So you'd say I was emotionally detached. What do you think detached means? Yes, ma'am. I'm not connected, right? If I was emotionally attached, I'd be trying to save one or the other. But I was detached. I didn't care. And I actually stomped on them both by the end, okay? Because I didn't want them living in the barn. Have any of you ever been, I'm kind of preparing you to do some analysis, okay? Have any of you ever been like, it's a normal day, and then boom, you stub your toe? And you didn't expect that, right? Or have any of you ever been like, oh, let's get in the car, let's go to school, and then boom, you have a little fender bender on the way to school? Has that happened to anybody? Okay, or going home. Have any of you, now this next part might be kind of sad, been just like watching TV and suddenly you get a phone call and something bad has happened? And you're like, oh my gosh, it was just a normal day when boom, something happened. How do you think Keno felt that day? Was it kind of normal when he was in the hut and their morning was starting, and then suddenly it turned topsy-turvy, very traumatic? Yes? The peacefulness, the contentment, the satisfaction was interrupted. Okay, let's talk about Keno one more way. How could the baby have been helped? The doctor could have chosen to treat the baby. What if Keno had had money, that could have happened, right? But because Keno only had those little bitty seed pearls that were worth nothing, he was turned away at the doctor's door, right? He didn't even get inside. Okay, let's also understand this. Where does the doctor live?
Nice house.
In a nice house. Does he live on the beach?
Maybe.
Where does he live?
In the city.
In the actual city center. Have you ever seen a hacienda enclosed in like walls? The main house, and then on the outside there's a big walled area that kind of separates the property. How many of you lived in like gated communities? I do. We live on property. We have a gate at the front. If you don't know the code, you're not getting inside. Or at least you're not driving inside. You could hop the fence. Pardon? You kind of do. Okay, a lot of people do. Okay, now we do it so the cattle can't get out, not so that people can't get in. But we don't want the cattle roaming around on the street. But a lot of people live in gated communities. Okay, we're going to talk more about that soon as well. But right now, what I want us to do is to read the text. I want you to read it for me right up here. Read it out loud. The ants
were busy on the ground. Keno watched with the detachment of God while a dusty ant frantically tried to escape the sand trap an antlion had dug for him.
Okay, very good. So this is before, I think this is before Kino is bitten. So this not only is symbolism, but it could also have been foreshadowing. Okay, so this antlion falls into the trap and it's trying to escape. And who's standing there watching? Kino. Okay, so I'm going to show you the order of what to do to start analysis. Now that we've read the quote, I want you to focus on this part. It says literal details and facts. Okay, we're going to write down some literal information about what is going on at that moment. Okay, are y'all ready? Okay, so you need to write down all the literal notes that we took just right now of what is literally going on when an ant falls into an antlion trap. And then we're going to talk about how it affected, or how it's symbolic. So we've drawn a picture of this, and there's the slope. And we've got Kino trying to drag the baby out of this horrible trap of despair and hopelessness, and at the bottom awaits death, which is the poison of the scorpion. But you also could say that Kino's been kind of poisoned with just hopelessness because of his poverty. Up at the top we have the big doctor, and he's watching with detachment all of this. He doesn't care if the baby dies. Okay, now we're going to write symbolically what's going on. Okay, so I'm going to give you this answer. You get it from me as an example. Are y'all ready? Comparing literally and symbolically, I'm going to read mine aloud. Symbolically, the antlion trap is Kino's struggle to save his son. Kino has been poisoned with despair. The trap has a steep, unstable slope, which is a lot like Kino's emotions. He is frantic and struggling with helplessness, but keeps falling backwards because of his poverty. The doctor watches Kino struggle, but he doesn't care, just like the detached God reference. And so I'm making the comparisons of what's literally going on with symbolically. Yes, Leo?
I think it's really crazy how how Steinbeck can put all of that into like just one comparison. So
Two little lines, yep.
And like a lot of people who are reading it wouldn't notice that.
Right.
But it's actually like a whole different comparison.
And then I also like that it's foreshadowing, because this is before any of this happens, right? And it's really interesting. Now what you're going to do, let's look at the bottom one. The bottom text. Read it out loud, Henry, for me. For a long time, read that text.
For a long time, Kino stood in front of the gate with Juana beside him. Slowly, he put his suppliant hat on his head. Then, without warning, he struck the gate a crushing blow with his fist. He looked down in wonder at his split knuckles and at the blood that flowed down between his fingers.
Okay, so I think right now what we need to do is to write down literally. Let's literally define what is a gate.
Fence.
Okay, put down a gate. It's a fence. Why do we have gates?
To keep people out.
To keep things out, keep things in. So write all that down. Gates are to keep things out. Okay, so right here on the literal, start writing gate, keeps things out. It's a barrier. You might want to write down barrier. Okay, why did Kino hit the gate? He was enraged. He was mad. He was frustrated. Would you agree? Now, didn't he know that gate was hard and solid?
Yes.
Okay, write down gates, hard, solid, impenetrable. Okay, now Kino literally hits it. Now, if you hit a gate, what is literally going to happen? You're going to cut your skin open, right? So you're going to be wounded. Kino is wounded. Write it down. So literally, when you're wounded and your skin splits open, what's going to happen? You're going to bleed. You're going to bleed. Now, let's talk about literally, why do we have blood in our bodies? To keep us alive. What is the job of blood?
To
carry oxygen and
oxygen.
to circulate oxygen and return with carbon dioxide, and so it does its job, right? So when he's losing blood, he's literally losing what? Air, which is life. So he's losing a bit of life there, right? Okay, now what I want you to do is to draw a picture of Kino hitting a wall, and what could that wall symbolize? What could his knuckles, broken knuckles, symbolize? What could the blood symbolize? And then you write below symbolically your analysis. Do you understand? So you're in charge of drawing a symbolic picture And you're in charge of writing the symbolic analysis down below, just like we did above, where you look at each part of the picture and kind of tie it together symbolically what it means. Now, the better your analysis, the better your grade. Now, this is English class. Do you think I care if you write using, you know, no capitalized letters and no punctuation and misspellings and fragments? Yes, I care. You're going to lose points if you do that, so be aware of that. Yes, ma'am.